Everybody turn your cameras on, but stay on mute. Please turn your cameras on, stay on mute. Everybody, please turn your cameras on and stay on mute. Please turn your cameras on, stay on mute. Everybody, please turn your cameras on, stay on mute. Everybody, cameras on. King, I need your camera on. Kyla King, I need your camera turned on.
I'm pushing the button, but it's not.
It's not working, so you need to figure out how to turn your camera on, okay? You can't participate unless you have the camera on.
Okay, can I exit out and exit back in and come
Yes,
back in?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Okay, everybody, when I call your name, one person here didn't obey the rules, so let me see who this. There's two people. iPad, turn your camera on. iPad, turn your camera on. iPad, turn your camera on.
Yes, ma'am.
You got to change your screen name to your name. I put several messages in there and you didn't change your screen name. Your name is not iPad.
Yes, ma'am.
Place yourself back on mute. All right,
Yes, ma'am.
everybody, when I call your name, you need to take yourself off mute. That's hit that. Ms. King still isn't working. I hear somebody else not connected. When I call your name, just take yourself off of mute, please. And say here. Now, if your case is reset, Ms. Free is going to email you a reset note. Samsung, hold on. Samsung, what is your name? White gentleman, white t-shirt. What is your name? Take yourself off mute, sir.
Johnny Jackson.
Why didn't you change your screen name? I sent you 100 messages to change your screen name.
I didn't see it, sir.
It's not sir. Everybody else saw it in the room except you.
I didn't see it, sir.
Stay on mute. All right, when I call your name, take yourself off of mute and please say here. Once again, Ms. Free is going to email everybody a reset notice if your case gets reset, the sheriff's form for you to fill out completely and return to her before the end of the day. You have to fill it out completely, 2 to 4 hour time frame in which those people can be served. If you put any time, that leaves whoever the deputy sheriff is up to go anytime they want to, which may not be when those people are at home. All right, let's see, ma'am. Ola Mayawa, sorry. I think I messed it up last time too. But let's see, Chantel Beckett. I don't show service on Chantel, and yours is about to expire. You plan on refiling?
Yes, ma'am, I would like to, and also put work on a warrant out here in Cobb County.
Okay,
Well.
if you want to refile, just come by and refile. Like I said, she wasn't served. That may be that you didn't put a 2 to 4 hour time frame, or it was a bad 2 or 4 hour time frame, but like I said, please feel free to be safe, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, Michaela King and is King?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. King.
Your Honor, Sean Whitworth here for Ms. King,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe she is back on and with her video up.
Yeah, got it.
We're ready, prepared. Our side we're gonna have to have a hearing today. But 30 minutes or less, I would predict.
Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll take you guys first so that folks can get a good idea of how hearings go.
Thank you.
Alyssa Foster?
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
My side objects to that. With your permission, we would like to have a continuance, a brief continuance, so that I might seek counsel.
Your Honor, he has counsel in the underlying action of the modification. They did an entry in that case. Apparently, they're not representing him in this case. We sought that out yesterday, and they are not representing him in this case.
Mr. King?
Yes, ma'am. I spoke to my counsel and they said that so they can be prepared for this case to ask for continuance, ma'am.
Well,
This has already been continued once for lack of service. We've hired a private process server. It's a very serious matter with substantial violence. I'll defer to the court. If Mr. King understands that the TPO is going to remain in place, I'll defer to the court on this.
I mean, here's the thing, is if you've already talked to your lawyer about it and your lawyer was hired in something else, they knew about it, so I'm gonna deny the continuance, okay? And sir, you can, until I finish calling this counter, you can go in there and try to get your lawyer that you hired in the modification to jump on.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Alyssa Foster. Soranidi Thomas. Failure to appear. Pharrell Davis. Alexia Scott. Pharrell Davis. Take yourself off mute, sir.
Here.
Sir, this says it's not a Fulton County address. What you gave, was that the home address?
Yes. They've been served.
No, it says it's not a Fulton County address. So,
Glenn, what's that? Glenn, I mean, what's that
so
area?
the sheriff's department says it's not a Fulton County address.
But they have been served.
No, they haven't.
They called me in.
Sheriff's department didn't serve them.
Well, they called me and said they had got the paper and would threaten me. So
I don't.
I guess they didn't say. I guess they didn't say who they was or something, because they called me. I have text messages and everything that says.
So if they don't live in Fulton County, you have to file where they live. And the sheriff's department said this is not a Fulton County address.
Fulton.
So
Is
sheriff's
it's
department said it's not a Fulton County address. I'm assuming they know their jurisdiction. So, but I mean, it's going to be reset because there hasn't been service. But if they get here and they claim that they don't live in Fulton County and this is indeed not a Fulton County address, I'm going to dismiss it because we don't have venue jurisdiction, nothing. Can't do anything with it.
So,
So
like,
I tell you what, we're going to reset this until the 24th at 11 a.m. Place your email in the chat. Ms. Free is going to email you a reset notice and a sheriff's form. Fill that out completely, give a 2 to 4 hour time frame where they can be served. Once again, though, if it's not a Fulton County address, the sheriff's department will not go into another county to serve. And
but
we don't have
that's off right off of Moreland, off of 285.
Right. And one side of Moreland is DeKalb County, and one side of the street is Fulton County.
So I had to go to DeKalb County then?
If it's a DeKalb County address, I don't know.
Your Honor, I did pull it up, and the sheriff said it's a DeKalb County address.
It's a DeKalb County, so you need to go to DeKalb County to file.
Okay.
All right. So we will not send you a reset notice because it won't do any good. Thank you, sir.
But I have one quick question, please. The police did come to the place and they had threatened me.
Okay, so there's still nothing I can do. Now, mind you, the city of Atlanta is both sides. However, Fulton County is one side, DeKalb County is the other. So no matter what you tell me, there's nothing I can do. You've got to go to DeKalb County.
All right, because they called me and sent me.
Right. Call the police and go to DeKalb County. There's nothing I can do.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you, sir. Antoinette Florence. Valeria Raven. Failure to appear. Antoine Hill. Alicia Kelly. Stand up for anything?
No, Your Honor, I sent an email, but I haven't heard.
He's
if you
here.
would-
Where's he at? Again, okay, everybody. Hit
Oh,
that
there he is.
microphone, take yourself off mute and say something.
Here.
All right. The respondent hasn't been served, so this is going to be reset until February the 24th at 11 a.m. Place your email in the chat. Once you do, we'll email you a sheriff's form and a reset notice. Get it back to Ms. Freed before the end of the day. That means before 5 o'clock today. Once you put your email in the chat, you can leave. Stay healthy and safe. Have a good weekend. Tierra Webb, Elijah Campbell. There to appear. Kimyana McCrae.
Yeah.
Cornelius Smith. Kimyana McCrae.
I'm here. Cornelius Smith is here.
All right, Mr. Smith, looks like you got served, but Kimyana McCrae did not show up. Here's what I want you to do is I want you to put your email in the chat because we're going to dismiss this for Kimyana McCrae's failure to appear. We're going to send you a dismissal. You need to make sure you keep that with you at least 2 weeks, okay? It gives it time to come off of the of GCIC, NCIC, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to keep that with you. Because if you would happen to go by the place where they are, they would arrest you for stalking as opposed to you being able to show them, look, this, I'm not saying go by there, but I'm saying this will keep you.
Yeah.
Okay. Once you place
Yes,
your
ma'am.
email in the chat, Mr. Smith, you can leave the meeting. Stay healthy and safe. Have a good weekend.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. How do I place my email in the chat? I'm new to this Zoom thing. I don't know how to use it.
So I have
Oh,
no
just click chat. I just have to click chat and just type my email.
Right. Yeah, and you can send it to Miss Free, or if you send it to everybody, nobody else reads the chat except for us anyway.
Okay.
All right, Brianna Sturdivant.
So that's it for me? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
sir. Yes, sir. Have a good weekend.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Sturdivant, thank you.
Yes,
Tori-
I'm here.
Thank you. Torian Houston. I don't show service. Your case is reset until September the 24th at 11 a.m. If you place your email in the chat, ma'am, we'll send you that reset notice in the sheriff's form. Just fill it out and get it back to us before the end of the day, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Stay healthy and safe. Have a good weekend. Johnny Jackson. Sanchez Howard.
I'm here.
Thank you, sir. This case hasn't been served either, sir. So your case is reset until February the 24th at 11 a.m. You place your email in the chat, we'll email you the sheriff's form and a reset notice. Fill that sheriff's form out and please get it back to Ms. before the end of the day.
You said February the 24th, Judge?
Yes, sir. And now that'll be on the reset notice she emailed you. And make sure you check your spam in case it goes to spam. It'll come to that same email that you got before.
Hey, Judge, I got another address for that individual.
Okay, so fill it out on that sheriff's form.
Okay.
You remember the sheriff's form? Remember the sheriff's form you filled out here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, they will
Yes,
send.
ma'am.
That's all right. She's going to send you a blank one, a new one. Fill that out and send it back to her before the end of the day.
Okay, ma'am. I got a question for you.
Okay.
The address that I got is in Decatur, Georgia. Do I still?
Well, do they live in Decatur?
Not at that time, they didn't.
Where do they live right now?
I don't know where he lived right now. I don't know where he lived. I haven't had any contact with him after the incident.
Okay, so if they don't live in Fulton County, this isn't any good. If they work in DeKalb County, you're going to have to take everything over to DeKalb County Sheriff and have them service. We don't send it to DeKalb. You've got to take it over.
Okay.
So we'll email you the reset notice. You need to take that and a copy of the entire packet over to DeKalb County and have them served. But I'm telling you, once again, if they don't live there, when they get on here and say we don't live in Fulton County, it's going to be dismissed.
Okay, is Decatur in Fulton County? It's in DeKalb County.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, 10 minutes. Okay, Judge.
All right, we'll send you the reset notice. We're not going to send you a sheriff's form, but place your email in the chat, okay? And we can send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
You can just go take everything. You got to take a copy of the petition, the order, and everything. The whole packet we gave you, you got to take a copy of that and that reset notice to the DeKalb County Sheriff, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Noreen McClarity. and Larry Fowler. Failure to appear. Mr. Smith, you came back? Mr. Cornelius Smith? Yeah.
Yes, I came back because I was I forgot to put my email in the chat before I left.
Okay, and we're gonna email you dismissal. Please keep it with you, okay?
So I got to send it to you say Miss Amber, right?
Yeah, that's fine. If you want to send it directly to her, you can.
All right, I did. Thank you.
All right. Have a good weekend. Stay healthy and safe. All right, Mr. King. Is your lawyer gonna jump on, or is it just
They're trying to get an answer, man. They're working diligently right now. Yeah, I don't have counsel for this case at this moment, man. And I'm trying, like I said, I was instructed to ask for a continuance. I have evidence that my counsel has been given, and they just need time to prepare properly, man. Like I was literally just served this last week, last Friday, man. I understand the seriousness of this. I understand the seriousness of this case, and I'm not trying to shuck or jive anyone, ma'am. Like I just want a fair trial, and I want all sides to be heard properly. So I'm just asking for the mercy of the court, and please, Sean Whitworth, please allow me a continuance for my counsel to be able to represent me properly. We have spoken at first. At first, I did retain them just for the custody case, but I have since asked them to join in on this case also, please.
Your Honor, he was served with both matters simultaneously. He went and got an attorney, and he got the attorney to represent him in the modification, fully aware that there was a TPO. His attorney, we reached out to the attorney to seek if they were going to represent him, to which we received no reply.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Mr. King?
No, ma'am. I was not simultaneously served with the I was served with the custody case, ma'am. I literally was just served last Friday, like I said, with the TPO. I had no case, no date to I didn't know when I was going to be served.
So when he was served, he actually had counsel then, and for the modification, he was represented and chose not to retain them to be here today.
That is not true, sir. Sir, that is not true.
Served on February the 1st.
Ma'am, I was served on February the 1st with the custody case, ma'am.
No, sir. This shows that you were served. The sheriff's department here that they served you with this on February the 1st. That's the note in the sheriff's department. So.
Okay. That's just.
Yeah, and Your Honor, we actually had a motion. We actually used a private process server, I believe, on this because there was failure of service the first time. So the affidavit of service is correct. It was filed February 3rd. He was served February 1st.
There you go. Okay, well, since yeah. So it shows you were filed February the 1st.
Ma'am, I'm speaking to my counsel right now.
All right, hold on one second.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Antoinette. Okay, first of all, you were late. So Miss Free has invited you to a breakout room. You need to go to that so she can talk to you. You were
okay, yeah, I was at work.
Go ahead, go to the breakout room, okay, because I'm hearing the case. So you go into the breakout room that Miss Free asked you to go to in there, and she can talk to you. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go forward though, Mr. King. Mr. Jackson, once you put your information in the chat, you can also leave. All right, because it shows you were served on the 1st. All right, so here's where we're going to start. We're going to let Mr. Whitworth, are you going to need to do an opening, or you just want to go straight into evidence?
Yeah, Your Honor, I could just give you a little background if it was court. These parties, I'm sorry.
These in. All right, Miss King, if y'all both raise your right hands for me.
Ma'am, I have evidence that my counsel has that I need them to present, ma'am. I don't know
you need to get the evidence from them because we're going forward. Mr. Miss King.
Could I get a recess, ma'am?
No, sir. No, sir. You were served on February the 1st. Wait, so we're going forward. Y'all both swear. Mr. King, raise your right hand. Raise your right hand, Mr. King. Swear for testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Both of you just nod your heads. All right, go ahead, Mr. Whitworth. Give me your name.
Just briefly, Your Honor, there's a 9-year-old boy in question here. They were divorced in 2021. Father was given regular standard visitation at that time. There's a history of violence. My client took out on about January 11th, it was filed a petition for a temporary protective order, which she makes certain claims against Mr. Aziz, and particularly on January 5th. During a pickup and drop off, he approached the car in a volatile state of mind. He proceeded to shatter the passenger side window where the child was sitting, shattered both windows with his fist. The evidence will show. He claimed she ran over his foot, but then he ran around to the other side of the car and proceeded to try and shatter the driver's side window. The firemen pulled my client away from the scene, called the police. He grabbed the child and left the scene, and apparently later went to give his own statement to the police. There's a history of strangulation, of physical violence, of threats of violence, and all of this happens in front of the child on a regular basis. There's a recording that exists. My client did start a recording. He clearly is saying he was going to kill her, he is going to shoot her, and he is going to make his son an orphan. These are his words. So today we're asking for a 12-month protective order for the mother and the child. We have an underlying modification case pending right now that he did hire counsel for, that maybe will resolve some of this, but we think she needs immediate protection at this time, Your Honor.
All right. All right, go ahead, Mr. Whitworth. And I hate to do this, but like at 10 o'clock, so that's 5 minutes. So if you can find a place to stop, I'll run real quick, tell my ex partes the results of their petition, and then I'll come. It'll take me like 5 minutes, and I'll be right back. So,
Okay.
Go ahead.
At this time, Ms. King, take yourself off mute, please.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. King, you heard my opening statement. On or about January 5th, did Mr. Aziz approach your car in a state of agitation?
Yes, he pulled up very aggressively to the fire station where we meet to exchange custody of our son.
Was your son in the car?
Yes, he was in my car.
How old is he?
He is 9 years old.
And as he approached, did he try and force the door open?
He did. As soon as he approached my car, he yanked on the door. And so I told him that don't pull on my door. And so I unlocked it and it had and told my son that he can get out. So he opened the door aggressively. And
so Mr. King, this is just advice. Maybe you want to pay attention to what's happening in here instead of being on the phone. Go ahead, Ms. King.
So
This is my counsel, Your Honor, talking to me currently.
I don't represent you in the TPO.
Yes, ma'am.
That's why we did not appear. We don't represent you in the TPO.
But Kevin,
Can you ask? I don't know if the court
Mr.
will
King,
allow
I'm
you
gonna
to
place you back on mute.
retain us
But
to
my
represent
suggestion
you.
is that you pay attention to what's happening so that you'll know what's going on. All right, go ahead, Mr. Whitworth.
ma'am,
Right. Ms. King.
Mr. King, no, sir. We're in the middle of a hearing.
You won't allow me to retain counsel, ma'am?
No, sir. She said she doesn't represent you in the TPO, so she's obviously not.
She said if you would give her a chance to.
Back on mute because we're in the middle of a hearing, Mr. King.
This is how he behaves regularly, Your Honor. Ms. King, once again, at that point, did he yank your son out of the car?
yeah, so he was like, come on, get out. And then he started yelling at me, continuing from a conversation that we had just had prior to him pulling up about him wanting to know my address, saying that I have to know my address.
After he pulled your son out of the car, did he place your son next to the car?
Correct. Yes, he did.
And then did he proceed to act violently towards you in the car?
Yes.
What did he do next?
He was yelling that I needed to give him my address. And so I told him that I'm not having the conversation and I tried to leave. And that's when he started banging on my window, the passenger window on the side where my son sits. And he shattered it and then banged on the one right behind it.
Okay. And he actually shattered, he hit the vent window and the passenger side window so hard he actually shattered them.
Correct. Yes.
And then did he proceed to come to the driver's side?
And he ran over to the driver's side and started banging on that window, trying to shatter that one as well.
Okay. And did he say anything to you while he was banging on your window?
Yes, he actually ran back around to where he shattered the passenger and pulled his head into the car and was yelling that he should effing kill me. And if I were to call the police, then he would shoot me in the face and make our son an orphan.
Okay, I'm going to show the court what I have listed as plaintiffs 2 at this time. And if the court will bear with me 1 second.
All right. So if you want to take your time to pull that up, I can run and jump and tell these folks real quick.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I'll pull it up.
Okay. All right, sorry, Mr. Whitworth. I have a broken foot, so it's taking me a little longer to get around.
No, thank you. I apologize, Your Honor. We're having technical difficulties on our end anyway. We were unable to, for some reason on the Zoom system this morning, our share file is not working. And I'm trying to find out what the situation is.
Is that did Ms. Castle mess that up?
I think it is totally her fault. That is correct, Your
She'll
Honor.
probably be fired, but
I right after this hearing, I think that will happen.
thank you.
If I could present it, I don't know if the court, if
Oh, I can see that, yeah.
can you, Mr. King, can you see this photograph that I'm holding up as well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do. Thank you. Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I see it.
Okay. And do you recognize that car in the broken windows?
I do recognize the vehicle, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Miss King, can you hear me? Take yourself off mute, please.
I don't see Miss King here. I believe she might have dropped off.
Well, if the court will bear with us, maybe Miss King will, she might have had Wi-Fi issues.
Oh, there she is.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Miss King, could you take yourself off mute, please?
Your Honor.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes, ma'am.
We're in the middle of a hearing.
Pardon me, ma'am.
We're in the middle of a hearing.
I was just going to ask, since I guess I'm representing myself, would I be allowed to call forth witnesses?
Not the person that's sitting in the room with you, no.
There's no one sitting in the room with me currently, ma'am. No, ma'am.
They're in the room with you right now. Where are they?
There's nobody in the house. I had my my girlfriend is actually at a different location with my
There's
daughter.
somebody that was just beside you to your right.
Yeah, she was here earlier, and I asked her to leave after you had left, ma'am.
That aren't there, then that's fine. You can call a witness, and you'll get to ask some questions.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. He asked if you could see that picture with the window covered up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I'll continue my question then. Ms. King, you recognize this vehicle?
Yes.
Is that a true and accurate depiction of your vehicle?
Yes, it is.
And does that vehicle represent the damage that Mr. King did to your vehicle?
Yes, it does.
And was your son there at the time witnessing this?
He was.
And I'm holding up a second photograph. Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes, I do.
And does that photograph truly represent the blood stains on the door?
Yes, it does.
And you took these photographs?
I did.
And a third photograph, is that the same vehicle?
Yes, it is.
And you took all three of these photographs, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'll submit this as plaintiffs 2 at this time.
All right. Any objections, sir?
No, ma'am. No,
All
ma'am.
right. It's admitted.
And that is your personal property. That vehicle is your vehicle, correct?
Correct.
And that is the damage that Mr. King did to that vehicle while you were sitting inside of it, correct?
Yes, it is.
And when he came to your side of the vehicle, did he attempt to do damage to your vehicle from the driver's side?
Yes, he started banging on the window, trying to break that window out as well.
And did he make any statements to you at that time?
He did. He threatened to kill me and told me if I were to get the police involved, he would shoot me in the face and make our son an orphan.
Was your child there at the time?
Yes, he was.
And did your child hear all of this?
He did. He was standing there crying, begging for me to stop.
And did Mr. King then immediately take your child and leave the scene?
He did after he finished banging out the windows. Yes. He then put our son in the car and sped off.
Okay. Did he claim you ran over his foot?
He did.
Did you run over his foot?
No.
And did the fire department, the people at the fire department, did they pull you out into safety?
Yes, they did. They told me to just put my car in park and come inside. They've called the police and to come inside where I can be safe until the police arrive. Okay.
And does Mr. King have a history of this sort of abuse?
Yes, he does.
And does Mr. King, has he ever struck you before?
He has. Back in September of 2019, he came to the house and was being hostile and aggressive towards me. And he ended up smashing the back of my head on the ground outside in front of the kids. And as he had his fingers in my eyeballs, he was saying that he could kill me.
Was your son around at that time?
Yes, he was.
Has he come to your home with a sledgehammer threatening to break down the door?
Yes, he has. And he told the police that as well.
And has he ever strangled you?
He has, yes.
Do you have cause and concern to be afraid of Mr. King at this time?
I do.
Do you have cause and concern to be afraid that he is going to exhibit these behaviors and or do these behaviors to your child?
I do.
And you made a recording of that day, did you not?
I did.
And in the recording, he is clearly stating that he is going to kill you and make your son an orphan, is he not?
Yes.
And you have taken out a probable cause warrant or attempted to take out a probable cause warrant on this time for with that recording, have you not?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And you also filed a modification to seek custody of protective custody of your son as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, no further questions for this witness.
All right. Mr. King, do you have questions?
I do now. Miss King.
Mhm.
So the dates in question, did I not text you before asking you about a text message through a text message asking you about your new address, which was never told to me at any time, because it does say in our previous court order for custody that we both have to tell each other where we live and have each other's address.
Yeah, she sent a text saying, FYI, I don't have your new address.
Okay. So, but we do have a court order that says that we are both supposed to let the other one know where we are, where our address is, correct? Yes or no?
I'm not sure of the details of the previous court
You're not
order.
sure of the details of the petition. Okay. So there's not a court order from our previous custody that says that in light of us moving, that we are supposed to tell the other parent where we are moving to.
Maybe I'm not, I don't know what
It may be. Your Honor, I would like to show that in our previous custody, it does state that both parents, we are to tell the other parent where we are moved to and give each other our address. Ma'am, she is that we are supposed to we're to give each other our address, and then in light of, so that just in case of any sort of emergencies. Miss King refused to give me her address, saying that she would not give me her address until I had done things that she had asked of me. I'm sorry. Where's that at?
So are you asking questions about your modification? Because, I mean, tell me how that is something I would need to know when she's talking about you breaking out the car window.
I'm getting to that, ma'am. So when I showed up to the fire station,
Like, you have questions, any more questions for her?
No, I do. I'm sorry. So when I showed up to the fire station, Miss King, did I not open up the passenger side back door and restate that, hey, I never got, that text message from you?
You yanked on my back door, and then you was like, you still haven't given me the address. I'm gonna need that address.
Okay, that's definitely not how it went. Okay, ma'am. So, Miss King, so are you stating that I broke out these windows, that I broke these windows out while our child was in the car?
No, he had gotten out of the car, and then you started banging on the window.
I started banging on the window, and so I started banging on the window with an open door, and because of what, ma'am? Why did I just start banging on the window?
I was trying to leave, and then you started banging on the window.
Your Honor, like I said before, I do
Your Honor, I
need
have
at
to
least-
object. If he has a question, he can ask a question.
So, Mr.
Your Honor,
King,
I do have Your Honor, I do have the I have put in a subpoena for the for a camera across the street at the I apologize, at the parking garage, which would show that I had let my child out of the car and was talking to her not in an aggressive manner, and that Miss King had pulled off with the door still open while I was talking to her, which jerked me forward and she rolled over my foot, ma'am.
okay, so is
And
this
I
the
asked
same
her,
day- is this the same day that you broke her windows?
this is the same day that the window was broken. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So ask her a specific question. You'll have a time up here to tell me what happened, but ask her.
So,
question.
ma'am, I'm still waiting on this recording. So, Ms. King, you said you have a recording of me threatening your life. Could the court please hear the recording?
I'm not sure my attorney has it.
Okay. Mr. Whitworth,
I'm sorry.
we would like to hear the recording of me threatening to shoot her in the face and make our child an orphan.
Yes, I'll be happy to play it. Your Honor, if we could, and invite one of my paralegals into the meeting, please.
Oh, okay. She got a name on here?
Yeah, I'm sending it into the chat room. It is 11 minutes. I'll tell the court. And I'm not sure I'm typing. It's legal assistant at swhitworthlaw.com.
Do I have somebody, their Zoom name? Do I have a Yolanda Hannah?
No.
That's my witness, ma'am.
I have somebody, I guess it's Lupe or.
And that's another witness, ma'am.
She's trying to get in right now. It's going to come across as maybe legal assistant. It's going to be Ariel Carson.
Okay. Oh, they were in here earlier, so.
Yeah, she's here.
Okay. All right, she's here, so go ahead. What you need her to do.
Yeah, we're downloading the audio as right now, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, sir, until I can get the audio, do you want to go ahead and ask her another question?
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Do you want to go ahead and ask her another question while they're downloading the audio?
No, ma'am. We I actually would like to invite Miss Hannah into and ask.
Oh, no, not yet. What other questions do you have for Ms. King?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. You said so, Miss King. You stated that on September 24th, 2019, that I came into your home aggressively and attacked you, and then I banged the back of your head on the asphalt. Correct?
I said that you came to the house. We had an argument.
No, you said I came in an aggressive manner, but just yes or no, ma'am. Please, just yes or no.
Yes, you did bang my head on the back of.
Okay. Okay. So in the midst of that, when I arrived there or whatever, there was a police there. There was a police report that was made that day also, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Do you happen to have that police report?
No, I do not.
Your Honor, I have also put in a sanction to have the police report for that day in, and I'm still waiting for that to get back to me also, ma'am. That would show that not only Miss King, that the police report that was made.
Hold on. You will get a chance to testify. This is questions for Ms. King only.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize.
Okay.
So Miss King, okay, and then you also stated that I arrived to your now former home with a sledgehammer, threatening to break down the door, correct?
Correct.
Was there a police report made that day?
Yes,
Where is that police report now?
you have to request a copy of it.
And you did not request a copy of any of these police reports?
I'm sure I have.
Would you like to present them?
No.
Mr. King.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Yes, she didn't get a copy of the police report.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Do you have any more?
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right. Is the video ready?
Bear with me 1 second. I think it is, Your Honor. Your Honor, Ms. King, did you take an audio of the recording when this incident happened?
Yes, it was an audio.
Okay. And in that audio, what parties were on that audio?
I'm sorry?
What parties were on that audio? Was it yourself and Mr. King?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And you recorded the behavior that happened on January 5th?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to play this audio for you right now, okay? And ask the court if the court can hear it. Mr. King, let me know if you can hear it as well, okay?
Go ahead.
Don't call my door.
This is what we're doing now, because I didn't sign stuff over for my passport. You're not gonna give me the address?
And you also don't pay child support.
You ain't ever asked me for child support.
I guess I have, Aziz.
When?
Check your messages.
When? I can check my messages.
Okay,
I don't
check
have it in
them.
my messages.
Well, that's on you.
Okay. But
You also have the court order. You know your responsibilities.
You want?
Goodbye.
How you doing? Let me tell you something for real. You know exactly what's going on. Oh, bitch!
What are you doing?
You're on my foot. I swear to God.
No, I'm not.
Foot.
Aziz, I'm off your foot. I'm not on your foot. I'm not on your foot. What are you doing? What are you?
Serious. Fucking serious.
What happened? Ms. King, was that part of the audio that you took that day?
Yes.
Okay. And in that audio, what was he doing at that time?
He was smashing out the windows.
Okay. And you asked him to stop?
Yes.
And that was him smashing the windows?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
I dropped Aziz off and I left. I dropped Aziz off and I was leaving. Don't do that. Look what you did.
What? Don't do what? You just ran on my foot.
Aziz, I did not know I was on your foot.
I will fucking. In my fucking all my life, I ain't never done shit. I ain't never put my hands on you. You always try to hurt me. You always try to hurt me.
No.
I swear to God. I swear to God, you bring these motherfuckers into this shit, they will not be able to protect you from me. I swear to God, before this all said and done, before they're done with me, I'll understand me. I'll handle you, and it can't be a fucking orphanage because I'll be.
Ms. King, at that time, is that Mr. King threatening you?
Yes.
And what did he threaten you with?
That he would kill me if I were to include the police.
Okay.
And he would have Aziz in the orphan.
Are the cops on the scene?
I can't hear it.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I'll submit that audio into evidence.
All right. Any objections, Mr. King? You wanted the audio, there it was.
Yes, Your Honor. A few objections because there were times in that audio where it was very muffled, and even Ms. King stated that you couldn't hear what was being said. And
I think I heard the pertinent parts. I mean, I'm going to admit it on what I could actually hear. I'm not going to admit it on something that's muffled, but I hear you screaming that she ran over your effing foot. You have an evidence. So I heard all I wanted to hear what you were going to do. If, you know, I heard it. So go ahead. Do you have any more questions for Ms. King?
I have no more questions, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Whitworth, anything else?
Just a quick follow-up. Ms. King, does it say anywhere in the parenting plan or the divorce decree that if you do not give the address to him, he has a right to threaten to kill you and destroy your property?
No, sir.
Okay, nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. King, go ahead. Let me hear your side.
Yes, Your Honor. So on January 5th, I had text Makila before leaving the home. Well, originally Makila and I had spoken because I had to work late. I get off work around 4:00, and she's told me that Aziz had no choir practice that day, and that I told her, well, I wouldn't be able to pick him up at 4:30 like I usually do because I get off at 4:00. Excuse me. So she stated that okay, well, she had picked him up and then we can meet at the fire station like we usually do. I agreed, and right before I left to go meet her, I just shot her a text that said, hey, FYI, I never got your new address, which was something that is in the court in our divorce settlement where we have to provide each other the other's address so that we know that where our child is just in case of emergencies. And that Miss King was so adamant about us sharing our addresses with each other that she refused to let me have my son until I gave her the proper address for where I currently live. So I asked her for her address. She never responded. I got to the location, the meetup spot, and got out of the car. I opened up the rear passenger side door. I kissed my son and said, hey, bud, how you doing? He said, hey. He hopped out the car and he stood right behind me. So I was standing inside the pocket of the rear side passenger door, and my son was standing right behind me. So I leaned my head in real quick. I said, hey, did you get my text? She said, yeah. I said, well, I never got a response. She said, I'm not gonna give you anything, Aziz, until you give me child support. And I'm like, man, that's what we're doing right now. That's what we're doing right now. Like, for real. Like, I'm a single parent also. I have a daughter of my own that I have to take care of by myself with no help from anyone else. So, and then Makila makes it a point to not only flaunt what type of money she has, but also always showing like how she's better than me financially. I said, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. As I'm talking, as you can hear, she's like, bye. And just the door is still open at this time, Your Honor. And she pulls off. My son is still standing behind me. She pulls off my hand. I'm holding the handle of the door, and I have my other hand placed on the side of the car. As she pulls off, it jerks me forward, and she rolls over my foot. And that's when I start screaming that you're on my effing foot. You're on my effing foot. You know, ma'am. So I'm sitting there screaming, and she's like, "Oh, she starts acting like she doesn't know what's going on." As you can hear in the audio, she's talking about she's sorry, but she doesn't move the car. She's just like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about." And then I'm swinging because I'm scared, man. I'm scared. I'm cursing at her and everything. I hit the back window in a panic, and then she throws the car in reverse and starts backing over me. She starts backing over me. That's when I hit the other window and trying to catch myself. That's how all the blood ended up on the door. And I'm trying to get myself from up under the car before she runs over me.
So she ran over your foot, and then she's backing up because whatever, trying to get away, and you don't move your foot.
I was trying to pull my foot from up under the car, ma'am.
But I mean, if she has ran over your foot fully for what? Okay, once she ran over your foot and your foot was gone, why didn't you move it?
I was stuck up under the tire mount.
But she said she's not, then she said she's not on your foot. So she just sat there with a car on your foot.
Man, I'm trying to tell you that she sat there with the car on my foot and then she backed the car over me.
You're standing to the side of the car. How can she back over you?
I'm pulling my leg from up under the car, man. I could
How are you
really
in the back of the car so that she can back over you? You're standing on the side of the car in the back. So you're beside the car. Not sure what kind of car she has. This is the car. Here are the wheels. You're on this side. Here's your foot. She starts to pull off. She runs over and she backs up. So you still, at no point are you behind the car for her to back over you.
My leg is up under the tire, man.
How did it go from your foot to your leg?
Because my foot is attached to my leg, Your Honor.
Ding, ding. Man, I wish I would have went to medical school. How does your entire leg get up? This didn't even make any sense, Mr. King.
Ma'am, I'm trying to tell you, when she pulled forward, she rolled over my foot.
Right. And then she rolled completely over it.
She ran completely over my foot,
Okay,
ma'am.
so why didn't you pull or why didn't you back up?
I just said that, Your Honor, that I was pulling from up under the tire.
Your foot, your leg is. Never mind. Okay.
Your Honor,
I know.
Can I show the court what I'm talking about then?
Folks wanted me to go to medical school. No matter what they say, being a lawyer is just as good as being a doctor. But I know that is physiologically impossible.
I'm trying to explain to you what happened, ma'am.
Okay, what you're saying doesn't make sense. So move on.
Can I show you?
You got a video.
I don't have a video, but I can show you how it happened, how the transition happened, ma'am.
You had to have laid down so that she could then run over your leg.
Ma'am, I was pivoting and trying to back up from under the car, from under the tire of the car. My foot is under and goes up under the tire. So I had my foot like this, ma'am, up under the tire. I'm sorry. I had my foot like this up under the tire.
And you said she rolls completely over. All you had to do was pull your foot back.
She ran over my foot, Your Honor, right? And I'm like this. And now the tire is coming back over my foot.
You said she ran completely over it and you pulled your foot back.
Your Honor, I just said she ran completely over my foot and I was stuck up under the tire. My foot was stuck up under the tire.
Okay, go ahead, whatever. Well, I mean, you were busting out her windows.
I was busting out her windows because she was running over me.
Go ahead. What else is next? Why were you holding the door open and stuff? I mean, this happens. I don't know if this was intentional. This happens. Why were you holding on to the door and trying to keep her there and just raising Cain with her anyway?
Your Honor, I was speaking to her civilly about something that we both have a court order for. That's it. I didn't know that she was just gonna buy and throw the car and drive and start driving off on me.
Okay, what else? And what do you want me to hear from Yolanda Hannah? What does she know?
Because Yolanda Hannah, I had her on the phone.
I still think she's there at your house. I mean, she was just sitting beside you like a nano.
And I asked her to leave, Your Honor. I don't have any reason to lie.
What does she know specifically?
Because she heard the whole thing while I was talking to her on the phone.
Okay, but I just heard it. I just heard it too. The recording played.
But I'm saying
the recording played. She heard it. I heard the recording. So I don't need to hear from her what she heard. She wasn't there.
She could also testify to you about what type of person I am, ma'am.
I mean, character doesn't really matter. This is not about character. This is about violence. Mr. Whitworth, do you have any questions for him?
Mr. Aziz, did you go seek medical treatment for your foot that was run over?
I did, sir.
Okay. Do you have that medical report here today?
I do not, sir, because I was hoping for a continuance.
All right, and Mr. Aziz, after you shattered both of her windows, you then proceeded, according to the recording, to go to the driver's side, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you walked over to the driver's side, and then you proceeded to berate her from the driver's side at that time, correct?
That's not how it happened, sir, but you can use that word, I guess.
Okay. And at that time, that's when you threatened to make your son an orphan, correct?
No, sir, it's not.
You didn't say that.
Well, you can hear in the video that I said I was going to, make him an orphan because, how Cobb County and clearly Fulton County treats all people in are one-sided.
So by making your son an orphan, that involves the killing or the death of a parent, correct?
It doesn't necessarily, sir.
Okay. All right.
I don't have to put my hands on you for you to, whatever, sir. I haven't put my hands on her initiating anything, sir.
All right. And then you proceeded to take your child and put him in your car and drive away, correct?
I had already told him to get in the car because she was backing over me and I didn't want him to get hit, sir.
And then you walked away and got in your car and pushed the gas pedal and the brake pedal and drove away, correct?
No, I drove away, sir, and went to the police station.
Okay. And sir, did your son was witnessing this assault on his mother the whole time, correct?
That's not what happened, sir.
All right. And in the summer of 2014, did you not attack the petitioner and punch holes in the wall of the home?
I did not.
And you never hit the petitioner in the face, leaving a mark near her eye?
I did not.
You never dug your thumbs into petitioner's eyes and pushed her down on the back and began to strangle her?
I did not.
And you never showed up to the house with a sledgehammer threatening to break her front door down?
I did do that, yes, sir.
Okay. So you threatened to break her. And what were you going to do if you got in the house after breaking it down with a sledgehammer?
Well, sir, I showed up to her house and called the police to come get me because that's what I was going to do, so that they would answer a call because I spent all that day asking for her to bring my daughter back and she wouldn't, and nobody would answer. So that was the only way I could get the police involved, and they got involved. I was never going to go into her house.
So you came to the house with a weapon, threatening to destroy property, called the police on yourself to save her from you?
No, sir. I called to make the police to react because she kidnapped my daughter.
Okay. And what did the police remove you from the property at that time?
No, they did not.
Okay. All right. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. So I'm just curious, Mr. King, how else do you make somebody an orphan? I mean, how are you going to make? What was your meaning behind you're going to make your son an orphan? I just want to know.
No, both of us could be put away. Honestly, both of us could be put in jail, and he doesn't have his parents. But I'm not.
If somebody's in jail,
I have videos.
So I got you muted because you won't stop talking with me. If somebody's in jail, the child's not an orphan. Children become orphans when their families or when mom or dad or somebody's gone, but it doesn't make them an orphan. I mean, yeah, they're without their parent there, but they're not necessarily orphans. So I wasn't.
They're orphanages that kids' parents aren't involved in their lives. Like
that's a little bit.
They're orphans, but they're not. Their parents aren't dead.
Not schooling me on anything.
I'm not trying to. What I'm saying.
I'm not. No, I'm muting you again. You're not going to think you're going to school me on anything. I know the definition of orphan. So what you meant to say is, Ms. King, we're both going to go to prison. So instead of saying we're both going to go to jail, you said you're going to make your kid an orphan. I get it. I know what it means. Next, do you have anything else you want to say, Mr. King?
Ma'am, I just want to say that everything that was being said is either a bold-faced lie or a half truth, ma'am. Like I know that the video or the audio is showing a skewed view, but I am not a person who I am not a violent person towards my child. My child has nothing to worry about when it comes towards me at all, ma'am. I'm a good father. I'm a great father, and I have no reason to jeopardize my son. All I care about here, what I'm doing here today, ma'am, is just simply to get my son.
So after you're over foot, you get Do you know how hard you got to punch a car window to break it? So not only you broke the passenger, you broke what, 3 windows?
2, ma'am.
2. So why'd you go break the other one?
You said, why did I or why didn't I, ma'am?
Didn't you? Why did you break the other window?
I broke the first window because she was rolling over my foot and I was hitting it, trying to get her off my foot. It broke. The second window was because out of panic when she was backing over me, man. It wasn't like I was just walking around her car on purpose and breaking out windows, man. That's not what happened.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Closing arguments? I mean, I'm not going to hear from the girlfriend because she doesn't. Nothing I want to hear from her.
Well, my Miss King is also online, ma'am. And I would like to call her as a witness from talking about Miss King's alleged me bashing her head on.
I mean, you've asked her. I gave you a chance to ask her questions.
I want to call my witness, ma'am.
Who is your witness?
Lupe King, ma'am. She logged in already.
Who is she?
She's my mother, ma'am.
I have to object unless she has firsthand knowledge and actually witnessed the incident.
She does, ma'am. She does.
What be relevant?
So she was there when you were picking up your son.
She has firsthand knowledge and a witness of that the history that Miss King talks about of violence that's between her and I is not accurate, ma'am.
And it's your mama.
She's not.
I will go ahead and take judicial notice that your mother is going to say you are a phenomenal young man.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
And
No,
you
ma'am.
say everything that says a lie. I will take judicial notice that your mom is going to say everything.
Ma'am, she has audio recording. This is not my mother.
You do not have a counterclaim against Miss King, so there's nothing I can do.
Ma'am, I can't counterclaim her, ma'am, for a TPO because she lives in Cobb County. She refuses to give me the address. I would have had a TPO put out for her.
Okay, there's nothing I can do to her or about her.
Ma'am, I'm saying that right now, I am not a danger to my son.
Closing argument. That's what I want from you, the closing argument. I don't.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. My closing argument is that I'm not a danger to my son. I have never been a danger to my son. There's numerous evidence against Miss King that if the court would allow me the opportunity, there's numerous evidence against Miss King showing that she is the aggressor and that she is the one that's the abuser, and that I am just here trying to fight for my rights as a father and to be in my son's life. I have nothing to do with Miss King. I don't want anything to do with Miss King. I just want the opportunity to be with my son and around my son. And so we have to adjust a pick up and drop off plan so that she and I do not interact. That is fine with me. I just ask for you not to pull me out of my son's life. That you can put the TPO on me for her, ma'am, but I'm asking for you not to do it to me and my son, please.
Go ahead, Mr. Whitworth.
Your Honor, I think clearly there's a history that in this matter that has been violent, has happened in front of the child. Clearly, Mr. King is well within the statutory guidelines to grant a TPO. He clearly has destroyed property. He's clearly threatened bodily harm. He's clearly considered an assault and not argue a battery. That being said, he's doing this in front of her 9-year-old child who is sitting there watching him. His story of running over his foot is absolutely absurd. A 2-ton car ran over his foot, backed up and ran over his leg, and he walks around and proceeds to try and shatter the driver's side window while he's threatening bodily harm, saying the mother's going to be an orphan if she gets law enforcement involved. Then he gets in his car and drives away and walks into the police station because he knows, as usual, he lost his temper and he created a scenario that's going to cause him trouble. He testified that he showed up at her house with a sledgehammer, intent to force the door open. No, he testified that. He called the police on himself with some deluded notion that he was going to have the cops do something they wouldn't do if he didn't show up with a sledgehammer at her house. based on the preponderance of the evidence and what the court has heard, based on the pattern of behavior, I think the court can believe that this is a history of abuse. I think the court can believe Ms. King that he did strangle her, that he does have a history of physically assaulting her and threatening her, especially the force it would take to shatter a car window, tempered glass in a car window, safety glass, the absolute force behind that to break 2 separate windows, and the absolute anger behind that is terrifying. And then to walk around the car to the other side and attempt to do it while she's sitting behind the wheel of her car, all while his son is watching, is absolutely terrifying. He is going to harm this individual, and he is not going to stop. The problem is we're concerned he is going to start disparaging the mother, threatening the child. He has already shown this behavior to the child. He has already terrorized the child. The child is sitting there in a state of trauma and fear while the father is physically destroying a car and threatening to kill the mother. The child has continuously seen abuse from the father. The child is in danger by this man on multiple levels. And we think at this point it'd be in the best interest to the father to remain away from the whole family until such time as the court can proceed with the proper authorities, proper specialists, and find out what's really going on with this man before he can cause some real harm, because his behavior is escalating and escalating. And we have genuine fear for the child and the mother that his next outburst may be the one where he does eliminate everyone as he has threatened to do. So this is a serious case, Your Honor. He's not even denying his actions. Nothing in his defense validates his actions at all. And so we'll ask for a 12-month protective order for the mother and the child. Child support's already established, although he has refused to pay support and he is not paying support, but that's part of the other action on the modification, which will be a contempt as well. Thank you.
Is the other action, is it in Cobb or is it in Fulton?
I believe it's in Fulton because he lives in Fulton, Your Honor.
Let's see, do we know which judge it's assigned to?
Bear with me 1 second, Your Honor.
It's Judge Farmer, ma'am.
Is it a Judge Farmer case? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
What on the, sounds like y'all gonna need a guardian.
Yes, ma'am.
It's definitely gonna head in that direction, yes.
All right. I mean, I could go ahead and appoint a guardian in this case in case y'all have to come back, and in that case, if you would like.
That would expedite matters, yes, Your Honor.
It's like, so how are you guys going to do, sir, you're going to have the cost?
We would split it 50-50. Obviously, it's our contention. Mr. King is going to need some sort of substantial assistance to deal with his violent nature.
All right.
No, ma'am. I don't agree. I don't agree with what Mr. Woodward was saying now.
But about your violent nature or the guardian?
About my violent nature, man.
Okay, well, he's a lawyer. That's what he does. So we're putting this in place for 12 months. Since this other case is in Judge Farmer, I'm going to appoint a guardian. Let me see if I can, in that way. 1 second. So, Mr. King, if you place your email in the chat, we'll send you a copy of the order once it's done. Also, we'll have your email address so I can send it to the guardian. And Ms. Whitworth, I'll have the guardian, I'll give the guardian your contact info. Let's see.
So, Your Honor, you're saying that I can't see my son for 12 months?
I'm telling you, I am putting a guardian in place in this case, in case you come back here, and in the modification case, because Judge Farmer's going to want a guardian anyway. I already know. So right now, we're going to get a head start on what's going on. So we'll put this in place. Mr. Whitworth, if we send you the Word document of the order, do you mind typing it up? I think we're down to 2 people in the office today.
Yeah. Oh, I guess Ms. Castle's going to keep her job then. Yeah, that's no.
Only if she can do this. It's writing on this.
Yeah. Yes, Your Honor. I'll make sure it happens. If
there are any mistakes, back to the drawing board.
I understand.
All right. So I will get the guardian's name and I will give her your contact info. And Mr. King, place your email in the chat and we'll give her your contact info. She's gonna send you a questionnaire. Fill out the questionnaire. If she needs any consent sign, like for school registry, things like that, just both of y'all have to participate. Mr. King, this guardian is basically acting as an arm of myself and the farmer. So when this guardian is talking to you, it's like me saying something or Judge Farmer saying something. So if she's asking you to do something, just think it as me or Judge Farmer is telling you to do. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Once you place your email in chat, y'all can all leave. I'll put this in place for 12 months.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I still, so I can't see my son though.
It's in place right now. So we will get the guardian will start working on this. She'll get in touch with you. We'll figure out when you need to be able to see your child and if anything needs to be supervised or what have you. That's the guardian's job. Guardian's gonna talk to you, see your son and talk to Miss King. So if you have witnesses, get your witnesses. Don't run out and give her like, you know, your bishop, your pastor, your rabbi, your mom, your dad. You know, people that have firsthand knowledge. Get them all in one place.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So yeah, and y'all can split it. It'll say y'all, Mr. King, also, when I write an order and it says pay the guardian, you have to pay the guardian. The guardian's like a car. Car runs out of gas, car didn't work. So guardian runs out of money and it'll be a great guardian who's not going to just ask for money to ask for money. So you'll keep it replenished. I think most of the guardians, like once their count gets down to like $1,000, I think they ask for a little bit more to be replenished. But it'll be a guardian that's straight to the point. All right. Thank you both. Thank you, Mr. Whitworth. Thank you, Ms. King. Thank you, Mr. King. Once y'all place your emails in chat, y'all can go ahead and leave the meeting. Y'all stay healthy and safe. All right, we got a couple minutes, so we'll stand down. I'll come in there, Ms. Free.
All right.
Your Honor, did I need to put my email in the chat?
No, we'll reach your attorney.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, cameras on, everyone stay on mute. Cameras on, I need everyone to stay on mute. Turn your cameras on and everyone stay on mute. Turn your cameras on, everybody, and stay on mute. If your screen name is not your name, you need to change your screen name to your first and last name. Cameras on, stay on mute. No iPhones, no iPhones. First and last name. First and last name, just like the message I sent in the waiting room, for you to change your name, first and last name. Kevin Artist, whatever I'm looking at, I don't need to look at that. Cameras on. Cameras on. Perkins, cameras on. Mills Paul, cameras on. That means everybody. Artist, cameras on. Perkins, Mills Paul, everybody, turn your cameras on. No one is excused. Everyone, turn your camera on. This is calendar call. That means you would be inside my courtroom, which means I could see you. That's why I need to see you now. Everybody, turn your cameras on. If your screen name is not your name, then you need to change your screen name. Samsung. All right, nobody. Samsung. Samsung, walking around. See, this is why I can't call you. Samsung SM S908U. iPhone in the red shirt. iPhone in the car. Y'all need to change your screen names. Miss iPhone, take yourself off mute. Miss Artist, I need to see your face, not the wall. Everybody, you're in my courtroom. Get where I can see you. Miss iPhone, what is your name?
I think that's me. I don't know how to change it. I'm
What is
looking.
your name?
Stacy Brabham.
Stacy?
Brabham.
You spell your last name for me?
I'm sorry. Brabham, and Stacy is Stacye.
Lift the E off Stacy. Sir, all right, you can place yourself back. Sir, red iPhone, Mr. iPhone, red t-shirt.
Yes, yes.
What's your name?
My name is Corey Brabham. I don't know how to change it neither, Your Honor.
I guess the instructions I have are not up there in the things anymore that says change your name. Let's see. Hold on, more people in here. This is for them, not y'all, but I got y'all stay in front of your camera. Camera's on. Camera's on. Okay, camera's on. Camera's on. You got to leave your camera on. Ms. Rucker, leave your camera on. Stay in front of your camera. Marita Rucker, stay in front of your camera. This is the calendar call, everybody. Stop walking around. Don't walk off. Whoever this TCL20XE. No idea who they are. And they don't have audio. When I call your name, get that microphone. That microphone will take you on and off mute and say here. Hit the microphone, it will take you on and off. So don't just do like this, okay? Because I'm looking down. I got a lot of screens to look at. Take yourself off mute and say here. All right. I see Miss Rita Houston. You're still sick. I'm sorry, ma'am. So you hang out.
Here.
Jonathan Gamble. Do you see Mr. Gamble on here, Miss Houston? Do you see all the people?
No, I just see you.
Oh, I'm sorry. At least you got something good to look at. Is he this? There's a gentleman here with a gray beard. You think that's him? Like a full gray beard?
I can't see anybody. I don't see any other pictures.
So, does Jonathan Gamble have a full gray beard?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Looks like he's got on some veteran baseball cap. All right, well, we'll come back to you, Miss Houston, real quick, because there was service. So let me finish it. And if you can't connect or whatever, then we'll take care of you really quickly. Amber Gollett. Frederick Francis. Anything, Ms. Sandifer?
No, Your Honor. Sorry.
All right, figured up here. I got Marita Rucker, still here.
Here.
Stephen Davis. Stephen Davis. Ma'am, according to the sheriff's office, he has not been served. Your case is going to be reset until February the 24th at 12:30. So what I need you to do, ma'am, is place your email in the chat. Ms. Free is going to email you a reset notice and a sheriff's form. Fill that sheriff's form out completely, return it to Ms. Free before the end of the day, that sheriff's form, okay? That reset notice will have the Zoom link for the next hearing and the date and the time, okay? Make sure you also check your spam in case these go to spam. So once you place your email in the chat, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Yes, the TPO is still in place, but he hasn't been served, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Rucker. Once you place your email in the chat, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Stay healthy and safe. Have a good weekend. Got Linda Daniels.
Here.
Your screen name needs to be your name, ma'am. That's how I know it's you. That's
Okay, I don't know how to change my screen name. Sorry, sir.
not sir. I just said, I guess I have a deep voice. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's not sir. I'm not a sir. I have a deep voice. And
I'm sorry. Thank you, Your Honor.
Kenneth Daniels. Kenneth Daniels. All right, according to the sheriff's office, Kenneth has not been served also, ma'am. So your case is reset to February the 24th at 12:30. Same thing, if you place your email in the chat, Ms. Free is going to email you a reset notice and a sheriff's form. Fill that sheriff's form out completely and return it to Ms. Free. Mr. Radom, I'm putting you on mute because I can hear the background noise.
Your Honor, I have a question. Sorry. I have a problem with my brother-in-law, Kenneth Daniels, because the address that was given, I think, is a bogus one. So I have no way of trying to contact him, only by phone.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, ma'am, except he has to be served.
Okay.
You got to have an address. So
yes,
yeah, so it'll be reset. So if you don't send that sheriff's form back, we can't take it over to the sheriff's department. All right.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. You have a good day.
All right, TCL20XE. You have on a hair cap. What's your name? Sir, take yourself off mute. TCL20XE. Take yourself off of mute. You got a cap on, like a hair. What is your name?
They talking to me?
Yeah. Turn your camera back on. What's your name? I was talking to you. TCL20XE. What is your name? And turn your camera back on. Kimyata McCrae, get in front of the camera. People, stay in front of the camera. It is not that hard.
I'm sorry, I'm dealing with
XE. TCL20XE. Turn your camera on. No, I guess they don't know how to do it. It may get put in place against them. Rashmi Hoda. Honestly, yeah, you're getting feedback. Rashmi Hoda. And I got Jeff Millspaw.
Your Honor, Jeff Millspaw. And I'm Bert Levy here for Mr. Millspaw.
All right, let me see if this does it. I'm not sure if you can see if this is the respondent here with TCL20XE. Send messages to the breakout, to the waiting room.
Ms. Lee, please stop.
Please stop unmuting yourself. You got your phone next to your computer and it's giving all that feedback. Please stop unmuting yourself. Let me see if this guy's in. Do you know what the person looks like? Was that them? It's an older gentleman with a gray beard.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Yeah, did you, Mr. Levy, did your client happen to know this is an older gentleman with a gray beard?
No, that it was.
Hey, sir, right there, sir. TCL20XE. You have on a night stocking cap. Turn your camera on. TCL 20XE. There's a gentleman with a big gray beard and a baseball cap on. Turn on your camera. All right, well, I'm removing you because we can't play this game all right. Well, you got a motion, Mr. Levy?
Move to dismiss, Your Honor.
All right, granted. Mr. Levy, if you place your email in the chat, we'll email you a copy of the dismissal.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, and Mr. Millspaw, keep it with you a week or two so that gives it time to come off of GCIC, okay?
All right.
All right. Y'all
Thank
stay
you.
healthy and safe. Have a good weekend.
All right, thank you.
All right, Felicia Blaylock.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, and Douglas Sanford. Looks like Ms. Blaylock, the Sheriff's Department said he was not served. Your case is reset until February the 24th at 12:30. If you place your email in the chat there to Ms. Free, we can send you the reset notice in the sheriff's form. Fill that sheriff's form out and make sure it has a 2 to 4 hour time frame as a time when they can be served. Okay.
Okay. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you. Treya Perkins.
Here.
All right, so I've got Michonne and Stacy. So when were y'all served? Miss Stacy first, when were you served?
I wasn't served.
And Mr. Corey, were you served? You gotta take yourself off mute. I can't hear you, sir.
No, I wasn't served, Your Honor, either.
So tell me how y'all knew to be here.
My
Online.
son,
We pulled it up.
All right, well, that's not proper. Do y'all want to accept service and go forward, or would you rather wait to be served properly?
I would like to go forward, please.
I would like to go forward as well.
Okay, so if both of y'all can put your email in the chat, what we're gonna need to do is email you did you get all the paperwork?
I got it offline.
So you got all of it, the petition and everything?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And you pulled his off so he could see his, or is he?
Yes, I have both of ours.
All right, so we're gonna email you a consent to go forward, an acknowledge of service. And right now, we'll take it that you said this, yes, but you've got to send this, or I tell you what, in a few minutes, Ms. Free can share her screen and y'all can give us permission to use your electronic signature to sign it, okay?
Okay.
We'll get right back to you folks. Let's see, Tamara Artist and Kevin Artist. Let's see, Ms. Foster, and there's Ms. Barrett.
Good morning, Your Honor. Chinmay Foster from Ms. Artist. She is present. Lauren Barrett is the counsel for Mr. Artist. We have been speaking. There's a forensic interview that's scheduled for Wednesday, February 15th at 1 p.m. And what I would like to do is see whether we can reset this hearing until after that forensic interview.
Barrett?
My client does not agree to a continuance. He's been separated from his children already for over a week. He's heard all the allegations, he's read all the allegations, and he knows that he has not done anything wrong to his children. He also knows, and we actually have a text message from their 6-year-old son where Ms. Artist has been alienating the children because here's what the text message says: "Daddy, did you do it?" And then when Mr. Artist says, "Do what?" here's a burning red circle. So there's active alienation of the child or children going on. And for that reason, another week, who knows what will have been said to the children. I don't even know when our continuance would be.
So do you need to go in a breakout room and you and Ms. Chinmay Foster see if y'all can?
Yes, but yeah, we would need direction from the court because there is a pending investigation as well as defects involved. So we would like, if the court would allow, to have a brief pretrial with you.
Okay. Okay, we'll do that. Let's see. And also, Ms. Free, it's Ms. Shawn also will need a consent. So Ms. Free is going to do acknowledgement of services for you folks. Is there anyone here that is a party? That I did not call your name. Not witnesses, but a party.
I missed. I'm sorry. Kenyatta McCray and Cornelia Smith. I'm sorry, we have an autistic son and I had to do something with him this morning.
No, that's okay. Let's see. I don't even.
Yeah, that was set for 9:30.
Oh, yeah, it was set for 9:30. Oh. Yeah, ma'am, it was set for 9:30 and it got dismissed for your failure to appear. We have no idea. So you are.
Well, I have an autistic son. So what do I do? Because
Feel free to reapply, okay? And if you didn't go through
Okay.
Safe Families, if this is maybe you want to go through, then use Safe Families, okay?
I've been trying for like 2 years. This is crazy. This man stalks me and threatens my life. And
Correct, Ms. McCray. I have dismissed it for your failure to appear. I'm asking you, come back up, reapply, but ask them to give you a referral to Safe Families.
all right, thank you.
Your Honor, also, Ms. McCray, if you come on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday between 9 and noon,
I
we would be able
moved
to
from
see you
the state.
immediately.
I moved from the state anyways. I'm not worried about it because Fulton County is not trying to help with protecting me and my children anyways from him. Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else that is a party that did not call your name? I'm assuming everyone else on here. Michael McWhorter, who are you?
Your Honor, he's my witness for our case. He's one of my witnesses.
All right, well, he can't connect the audio, just so you know. Okay, so Ms. Foster, Ms. Barrett, we will go, I'll take us into a breakout room while Ms. Free shares the screen with these folks.
So for the Brown family, excuse me, I'm mispronouncing your last name. I'm gonna call you all individually. I'm gonna share my screen, and then I'm gonna call you by your first name so you know who I'm referring to. I'm then going to just show the form that I'm filling out for you. It's an acknowledgement of service saying that I'm sending over the documents to you all via email so you can review them. I'm going to ask then for your permission to use your electronic signature. So the first one, I believe, is Corey. Corey, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, and do you give me permission to use your electronic signature?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Next is Stacy. Miss Stacy, can you see my screen?
Yes, now I can.
Okay, and do you give me permission to use your electronic signature to sign?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. And last will be Mashawn. All right, can you see my screen?
I can, yes.
Okay, and do you give me permission to use your electronic signature?
I do.
All right, thank you all. So if you all can put your email in the chat, I'm going to send you all the documents for you to peruse as well.
I think I put out there right now.
Yes, I believe all three of you all have. Yes. All right.
I'm like, I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. It's okay. So you'll see an email from me in about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay.
So do I need to go to the email?
You can. You don't have to do it at the moment, but I'm sending it to you. If you don't,
Oh, okay.
by the end of the day,
I don't need it while.
Yeah, you don't have to do it right now. No.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Speaking, your video is stopped. Why is it doing that? Okay. Back though, there you go. I appreciate you, man. I don't know what's going on.
Ms. Houston, do me a favor, raise your right hand the best you can, ma'am. You swear affirm testimony about to give is truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is everything in your petition true and correct?
Is what?
Is everything in your petition still true and correct?
Yes.
All right. And has Mr. Gamble reached out to you? Looks like he was served on January.
Not since the day of court, January 10th.
All right. And you still want this in place for 12 months?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put this in place, and if you can, place your email in the chat, and we will definitely send you a copy of the order.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Stay safe, feel better.
You too, thank you.
Ms. Free, so if there's a pending forensic interview, what I'm gonna do is put this one, number 10, on next Friday, the 17th at 9:30.
Okay, Your Honor.
Because I think Ms. Foster has a 12:30 in front of Judge Ellaby, so.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Okay, did they sign their acknowledgements?
Yes, all three have been signed and sent as well.
Okay. So that's the only case I have left then. Madam Court Reporter, were you here on the other case?
Your Honor, yes, I'm here for artist versus artist.
All right, so why don't I put you in the breakout room and they can tell you, because we're going to continue it till then, but I don't know if they want to put something on the record, so I'll pop you in there.
Okay.
And that way you can, talk to them and let them talk with you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Ms. Perkins, if you raise your right hand, if y'all take yourselves off mute, Ms. Perkins, raise your right hand. You swear affirm testimony about, okay, I got two. Who's the, all right. Oh, okay, different names. Sorry. Swear you affirm testimony about gives truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right. So let's see, Ms. Stacy, Mr. Michon, and Mr. Corey, if y'all could all raise your right hands, take yourselves off mute.
Yeah.
All right, y'all swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
I do.
Okay, so Ms. Torreya, is Travona, that's a witness of yours?
Yes.
Okay, so for the witnesses, I'm gonna put you folks in the waiting room so that you won't hear the testimony. Now, yes, it's streaming, so I'll tell you this. I'll be able to pretty much tell if you watched it on YouTube or listening to it. So I'm gonna put you in the waiting room, Mr. Trayvon, sorry. And then what about any of the Bravens? Do y'all have any witnesses?
No.
No.
Okay. So I'm not allowed to listen.
Is she gonna testify?
If need to be, I can.
Okay, yeah, you can't listen if you're gonna testify, okay?
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I'll put
Okay.
you back in the waiting room.
Okay, thank you.
Do you know that I'm here?
What case are you on, ma'am?
Artist versus artist.
Okay. I'm pretty sure you can probably go ahead and leave and let them call you. I'm gonna reset it until next Friday at 9:30. We'll send them the link, so I'm sure that they can send you the link.
So you want me to leave?
I mean, if you're interested in watching, you can feel free to watch it on YouTube. But yeah, if you don't mind. And Mr.
Okay.
I think you're a witness too, Mr. McWhorter. An artist, isn't he? Somebody? Take yourself off mute, Mr. McWhorter. Mr. McWhorter, you got to learn how to operate Zoom. Look at the phone. Look at the phone, Mr. McWhorter. Look at the phone. I'm asking you to unmute.
Okay,
Are you a witness and artist?
artists and artists, yes, ma'am.
Case is reset until next Friday. I'm sure they will send you a Zoom link for next Friday. Thank y'all.
Okay, I will be up there. Thank you very much, ma'am.
No, not up here. You're gonna be on Zoom.
here.
You're gonna be in the court.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I will be there to Zoom then. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Lee.
All right, thank you.
All right, Ms. Bradley, they tell you that, are they gonna want to put something on the record, Ms. Bradley?
No, I was just messaging you to let you know that nothing will be put on the record today.
Okay, and I'm sure they will send you a copy if they want you back next Friday. It'll be
Yes.
at 9:30. Okay, thank you.
Yep, no, thank you.
All right. So here's how we're gonna do this. I know it's gonna be a lot of y'all wanting to talk at the same time, but we'll let Ms. Perkins go first. Ms. Perkins, I want you to go in this order. I want you to tell me about Sean, then Miss Stacy, then Mr. Corey. Do it all separate. Don't say he, because there's a lot of he's, okay?
Okay.
Right? So let's start with, and then Mr. Mashawn, I'll hear from, and Mr. Corey, I'll hear from all of y'all, okay? I'm gonna try to do this. I'll take some good notes. All right, so tell me what happened between you and Mashawn, specifically you and Mashawn. Stick to that one thing so I can keep all these straight.
Okay.
Go ahead.
On January 20th, Mashawn and I were in a Lyft on the way home from Chateau Elan. Well, on the way to his house from Chateau Elan. And we were having a disagreement about something. After having the disagreement, he began to put his hands on me. He was grabbing me, pushing me into the door, saying some really violent things to me, threatening me. And at that time, after that happened, I texted his mother and I told her that I wanted her to get my daughter, Blake, ready to go because it wasn't safe for us to be there. When we got back.
Let me still stick to Mashawn.
Okay. When we got back to his house, I was not initially allowed into the home. I did leave for a second, but I did not feel comfortable leaving my daughter there because of the things that had just happened between us in the Lyft ride. And so once I did get into the house, an argument ensued between Mashawn and I. And at that point, he did put his hands on me. I believe he pushed me like towards a wall or something. At the time, he was also holding my daughter. Someone did call the police. I'm not sure who did. And that's when they came and took note of everything that happened. And they were able to point out that I was bleeding my neck and my back.
So this little girl is a child, it's y'all's child?
Yes.
Okay. Y'all just have one child together?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now tell me what, Miss Stacy.
Yes.
So,
are you calling me?
I'm gonna tell her to let her hear about what her petition against you before, and then I'll hear from each of you. So what happened between you specifically and Miss Stacy?
So again, when I was in the Lyft, I did text Miss Stacy. I don't know if she ever received my text messages, but I do have file of them. I sent text messages telling her that Sean had just hit me in an Uber and also that I needed her to get Blake ready to go because it wasn't safe for either of us to be there. She was actually standing in between Sean and I when he hit me when we were in the home. And I let her know, like, you just saw that he hit me. I just need your help leaving. And in the midst of that, there was a lot of grabbing and pushing me. And I am almost sure that Miss Stacy was involved in that because her and Mashawn both were.
Okay, now, since she was in between y'all, so when you say you were
standing in front, she was standing in front of me and Mashawn was standing behind her. Once Mashawn reached around her to grab me, Miss Stacy and I began to have words with each other. I was letting her know, you saw that he just hit me out. I had my hands up at one point and I said, I'm not fighting. I literally just want to go home.
So did Miss Stacy put her hands on you?
I'm almost positive she did, yes.
Okay, so I'm not real sure why that I'm almost positive.
Because both Mashawn and Miss Stacy were coming towards me at the same time.
Okay. All right. What about you and Mr. Corey?
It was the same thing. Mr. Corey came, he was not there in the beginning, but at some point, I'm assuming because of the yelling and everything that was going on, he came downstairs. And again, there were a lot of hands. I was being scratched and pulled. I have
marks on my neck from where I was being scratched, and Mr. Corey was there as well, and that's why I included him in the petition.
But what did Mr. Corey do to you?
I am positive that Mr. Corey was involved in scratching and or pushing me as well.
So you're telling me that versus Mr. Michon.
It was all three of them at the same time.
Mr. Michon pushing you, fighting you. Miss Stacy jumps in the middle like, no, I'm gonna get some of this. And she wants to start pushing and scratching on me. Then Mr.
I believe they were trying to get out of the home. That's why they were pushing me. I'm sorry.
Now Mr. Corey comes in. He's like, well, everybody else gonna push her and scratch her. I'm gonna push her and scratch her. So then he
yes. No one tried to help me after Miss Stacy saw that my shine had just basically attacked me.
Okay. All right. Let me hear. All right. Ladies first. Miss Stacy, do you want to respond to what she said about you? Just what she said about you. I'll let.
So she came in the door. So I had the kids. I heard like knocking at the door. I came downstairs. I could hear her screaming outside the door saying, give me my baby, give me my baby. When I came downstairs, my Sean was coming in the door, but she did not come inside. She had pulled off. Her truck was at the top. She had pulled off and she had left. Then I gave their daughter to my Sean, so we had her in the hands the whole time. At some point, she came back. She came down the driveway with her hand on the horn, just beat her hand on the horn for maybe about 5 minutes. At that time, she came to the door. He opened the side of the door. I went back upstairs, but I was at the top of the steps. When she came in the door, they were screaming. She came in the door. Her back was up against the door. And now he's over toward like the room. She's at the door. I'm at the top of the steps, but she can't see me. And she's yelling, he's beating my ass. He's beating my ass. But he was nowhere near her. They start yelling. She was belligerent. They had both been drinking. They start yelling at each other. I'm in between both of them. She's on one side. He's on the other side. He's holding the daughter. There's no hitting going on. I'm just telling them both to stop screaming. They're yelling to the top of their lungs. The baby is crying. She's reaching for the baby. The baby won't go. She's holding my Sean around his neck because she's scared. I'm telling them to both just stop the screaming, stop the yelling. She sat down on the steps at one time, and she was like, it's all of you against me. It's all of you against me. I have my hands up, but she was sitting on the step, and she said, I just want to take her and leave. And I said, the reason why she couldn't take her and leave is because she had been drinking. They both had, but he wasn't going to let her get in the car with the baby because she had been drinking. My husband was upstairs. He is handicapped, can't walk. He has a device on, but he can hear.
I'll let him tell me what he did.
Okay, but he's the one. He's the one who called the cops.
So, did you ever put your hands?
I never put my hands on her. I did put my hands on my son because I was telling him to move back because I was in between them, and all they were doing was yelling and screaming. They were yelling and screaming at each other. The baby was crying. The daughter upstairs was crying. And I was just telling them to stop. Everybody just stop. Just take a break. Everybody stop, take a break.
All right. Mr. Corey, what do you got to say, sir?
Ma'am, Your Honor, I don't know why this young lady said I put my hands on her. I would never put my hands on a woman. First off, I heard the yelling and screaming. Like my wife said, I heard her when she said, he's beating my ass. And nobody was even near her. So then my other granddaughter, I'm trying to compose her upstairs and tell her everything's going to be all right. I hear her screaming again. I take the device off my leg and I come downstairs, and she is combative against my wife. She's combative against my son. She's raging out of control. So I'm just standing to the side because I don't want anything to happen to my leg, first off. She's screaming, she's yelling. So at this point, I just call the police because I don't want any fighting, any damage to anybody, first of all. And for this young lady to say she think I put my hands on her, I'm a grown man. If I would have put my hands on her, she would have felt me putting her hands on her. So I mean, first of all, I'm not gonna hit a woman. I've been with my wife for 30 something years. Me and her have never got into anything like this. My son has never seen anything like this. So really, it's just, I don't know. I don't know why she's making all this up or she's angry. But really, Yana, this night was tragic because it was two young babies seeing all of this, and it was unnecessary.
Now, your wife said that you can't walk. Are you like me? I gotta
Yeah, I'm kind of like that. And at the time of the argument, I had a stimulating device on my leg,
Tim's
that
unit
pumped fluid out of my leg.
on the Tim's units.
Yes. Yep.
All right. All right. Mr. Michon.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah.
It's my Sean. But so no, you're okay. So
There's Sean, my Sean.
just like that, yes.
All right, go ahead.
So the whole incident started, we were leaving Chateau Ylan. I had took Treya to Chateau Ylan for her birthday. We did a wine tasting. We both had a lot to drink. I decided, you know, when we were leaving the house that we would Uber, obviously, because we were going to be drinking. So we leave Chateau Ylan. We're having a discussion on the way back about my older daughter who is with a different woman. But, you know, obviously Treya is in her life. So we're having a conversation about her. The conversation had been going on for maybe, I live in Roswell, so we're coming from Brazelton to Roswell. It's maybe about an hour, 20-minute trip. The conversation had been going on for maybe 25, 30 minutes, and it was just continuing. So at that point, I was just asking her like, all right, let's move on. Let's talk about something else. She got upset. You know, we started having an argument back and forth about, now we're talking about our child because she was saying, you know, that I don't help her take care of the child, things like that. And that's when the argument in the car, you know, got a little heated. I never put my hands on her. It was just a verbal argument. The Lyft driver, obviously he was there. He never said anything about, you know, there being any violence. She kept asking the Lyft driver to pull over and let her out. He's just like, hey, let me get you guys home. On the way home, the Lyft driver actually got pulled over by the police for speeding. So the police, you know, they were there at the car. She, you know, never said anything to the police about her being attacked or anything like that. The Lyft driver never said anything about anyone being attacked in the car. It was just an argument. I'm sorry, my laptop battery is low. Do you mind if I plug it in really quick?
Yeah, that's fine. While you're plugging it in, let me see. Miss Barrett, Miss Foster, did you guys need me?
Hello, Your Honor.
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah, so we agreed that the calls would take place at 7 p.m. Via Zoom. Both parties can record it. It'll be iPad. He will call their son's iPad to begin the call. And the parties agree that neither party will talk to the children about any allegations or investigation during the call.
That's pretty much it.
Every day on Thursdays?
Um,
is it just every day? I'm sorry. Every day at 7 p.m.
Every day at 7 p.m. It's been a long week, Your Honor.
Starting when? Today?
Starting today?
She's fine with that.
Okay. And so, so I had put in there that both of you can record it. To me, that's a benefit to both of you. If he messes up and says something wrong, you got it on video. If she interferes and does something to sir, and you don't do anything, then you got that on video. So I'll allow both of you to record it. Now, things happen. Okay. So your son's 6, which probably means he operates his iPad better than the rest of us. But Mom, just make sure he's got the iPad set up and just ready, just a little before 6. Okay. Dad, if he doesn't answer when you call at 6, give a couple minutes and then call. All right.
Yes.
And then Mom, however you got to do it with the 3-year-old probably knows how to operate the iPad better than everybody. So, and then when the 6-year-old comes out, you just stand out there, and then, like I said, you can obviously watch it later, but just, don't interfere with the time, okay? Just let them. And Mr. Artist, don't try to keep the kids on this Zoom call for 30 minutes because
I'm pretty sure I won't be able to do that for at least 10 minutes. Their attention span is not long on the phone, so but I'll try my best to make sure I don't.
Okay, and then we'll see y'all next Friday at 9:30.
Yes.
And Ms. Free will send y'all, and Ms. Foster, Ms. Barrett, If you want to put your emails in the chat and it's free, that way she won't have to go back to your entries and look at it, make it easier. She'll send y'all the Zoom link for next Friday.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank y'all. Y'all stay healthy and safe.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Mr. Marshawn, thank you. Sorry, I had to take care of that so they could leave.
No worries, my apologies. So as I was saying, so yeah, we pulled over in the Lyft driver was there. She never, there was nothing ever that happened in the Lyft other than, just a verbal argument. We get back to my home. She gets out of the Lyft before I do and darts down to the front door. She starts banging on the door. I get out after her. I come down maybe a minute or so later because I had to get all of our stuff out of the Lyft. When I get to the door, I'm just like, can you calm down before we go inside? I don't want the children to be upset. It's like we had this argument in the car. We don't have to continue it now that we're at home in front of the children. So by the time I get the door open, I think my mom actually ended up opening the door. And then Treya walked off, and I thought that she was still outside, but apparently she had left. So I go inside, I just check on the children. We were planning to go out to dinner, so I just let them know we weren't going to be going anymore and they could put their pajamas on. So my younger daughter, she'll be 2 in March. So I was going to get her ready for bed. But before I went outside to check on Treya, but I saw that she had left. So I come back inside, I'm getting my younger daughter, ready to put her pajamas on. And then I just hear honking on outside. So Treya has pulled back up, she's outside honking the horn. She does that for maybe 2 minutes, and then she comes and starts banging on the door. When I hear her at the door, I go open the door. She's yelling, "Give me my baby! Give me my baby!" I say, she had been drinking, so she was intoxicated. So I wasn't comfortable with her leaving and driving with the baby. She lives in Fayetteville, which is an hour away from my home. So she comes inside. We have a verbal argument, just about the fact that she wants to leave and take the baby. She's telling me, I'll call the police. I'm not legitimated. So technically I have, no rights to my child. So she's like, I'm going to call the police. You think they're going to leave her with you? And I'm just like, well, call the police because they're going to tell you not to drive because you're drunk. So eventually she started yelling for my parents to come downstairs. My mom comes downstairs, and the whole time my mom is just telling us both. She's like, Treya, please go sit down. Sean, go in your room. Like, y'all just calm down. Y'all are upsetting the children. But we're just having a heated argument at this point. I'm upset because she's making the children upset. She's getting my parents involved. And she's upset because she wants to leave. She wants to take the kid. And my whole objection to that was that she was drunk. Eventually the police come, they take Treya outside, they ask her what's going on. She explains to them, she comes back inside, we explain it to them, and they're just like, okay, they explain to her, his only issue here is that, you're drinking and he doesn't want you to drive with the baby. So she ended up having to call her mom to come get her and take her home. There's a police report of this whole incident. In the police report, they stated there was no probable cause to make any arrests. Treya said she told the police that she was jumped. I have a copy of the police report that I can share. She told the police that she was jumped.
Share your screen?
Yeah, I can share it on my screen.
Okay.
So she told the police that she was jumped.
Just let me read that.
Yeah, of course. I can share
that. Have you filed to legitimate the child?
Not yet, Your Honor.
Is this a plan of yours?
That is a plan of mine. I just wanted to get through this hearing first, and then I'll be doing that.
Well, the whole thing is, it's just important.
Absolutely. I had to go through that process with my older daughter. I mean, It's something that I've been trying to do with her instead of,
there's rights. And then the chance something like this comes up, whoever the other person is can say, no, you can't see it because you don't have,
right, exactly.
And that way, if something were to ever happen to you, there's like survivor benefits and stuff like that. So.
Exactly. And that's something I've been trying to do, together, with her so that she kind of understands what's going on. But, her perspective on it is she thinks it's a way for me to take the child from her. So she's been reluctant to sign off on it.
All right, hold on right there. Let me read it. Okay, that's it?
Yes, that's the end of the report.
Okay, you can stop sharing your screen. Okay,
So
well, I mean, did nobody tell about the supposed fight in the Lyft or the Uber or the ride share?
no, that wasn't shared with the, I let the police know when they were here that, there was an argument in the lift, but I guess they didn't feel the need to mention it. But, obviously she didn't mention it to them as either because they didn't include it in what she said to them.
You're right. I did mention it to the police. I'm sorry. I did mention it to the police, and I actually had to go to the Roswell Police Department the next day. Once I read and I was able to speak with the police officer, and I let him know that I did make the police aware of the argument inside of the fight inside of the lift, and that I didn't feel comfortable with the information that was put on this police report because it didn't include that. And I let him know I didn't feel like I was being taken seriously. They're saying that I was just screaming that, oh, he was beating my ass. I was specifically saying he just beat my ass in a Uber because that's exactly what he was doing.
Okay.
And I did go and make an amend to that police report.
So where is that?
I can get it from Roswell Police Department. I haven't been able to receive it. And I've also been in contact with Lyft because I believe
that seems like something that they wouldn't have left out. I mean, I was a cop for 15 years, so
I did share with the police officer who I spoke with the next day that I did mention it to them. And even my mother was there and she let them know that I was saying that I didn't feel like the cops on duty were taking me serious at the time. This is not the first time that I've had to go through this with my Sean, as far as starting the process for a TPO, as far as I've even let his parents know before that he had put his hands on me. I directly called his father for the first time.
Hold on. Okay. So, and in there it says you couldn't say who gave you this scratch. Did you have pictures of the scratch?
I do, yes, ma'am. The police were actually the ones who pointed. My adrenaline was so high because there were 3 people coming at the same time. The police had to point out that I was the one.
Let me ask you one question. How do you plan on getting home beforehand?
I had already started making calls for someone to come get me.
So
and I asked during the argument, I asked them, well, what are my options? And they were not allowed. I said, I can't stay here. They weren't even allowing the option to stay there with my child. Everyone's main concern was getting me out of the house.
What was your plan to start with? I mean, you were going home, so we're just going to get in your car and go home?
I'm sorry?
Were you just going to come home, get in your car and leave?
No, my plan was to get my child out of the home and then call someone. I had already started making calls to my friends for someone to come meet me. My biggest concern was getting her out of the home because my child kept her before.
Hold on. You were going to get y'all's child.
Yes.
Yes. You're going to stand in the yard and wait for somebody to come?
No, I absolutely was going to put her in the car and lock the door. And I had already, again, I called his brother. I had called a couple of my friends for people to start trying to see if they could come meet me because I was not comfortable with her being there.
Now you say come meet you. So were you going to drive? Okay, never mind. All right. Let me, Sean, go ahead and finish what you were saying. I just had to ask her about the police report. Go ahead, Mr. Sean.
Yeah, so, I mean, Your Honor, at the end of the day, this was a verbal altercation. There was no, as she said, no one was struck. She said that to the police. As far as the scratch on her neck, I mean, she easily could have scratched herself. She was pulling her hair, she was grabbing her neck. The whole thing is she was extremely intoxicated. We had a lot to drink, and I don't think she realized how intoxicated that she was. And that's, I mean, she's saying the police weren't taking her serious. I mean, I spoke to the police that night about it, and they said they could tell how intoxicated.
I know legally what weight to give a police report. So they kind of write down what both of you say, and then, I mean, he says he smelled alcohol, and then he or she puts what they heard. So what did Ms. Torrea, what does your sister know?
That's my mother. Her name is Travana.
Was she there that day?
She was the person who had to come pick me up.
I mean, but what did she see?
She is a witness today because she has been involved in all of the other incidents that has happened between me and my Sean. This is not the first time my mother has had to come get me and remove me from his home because he's put his hands on me.
She was physically, okay, hold on.
No.
Okay, so has she firsthand witness to anything?
No. But his mother, and she is not being honest.
Okay, well, but I can't hear from your mother because she's just gonna say, well, you called her, told her to come get you because this happened. So where are the pictures? And I really hate that you have that child sitting there while I'm talking about this.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure how to share this. I can share a picture of the scratch on my neck. And my Sean actually knows that I have scratches on my neck. And he called me the next day because he went to jail that night. And he tried to
jail for this. He had some other issues.
convince me
out of Fayette County.
I mean, we're not,
Your Honor, the very next day, her and her.
Let me hear from. Let me share. Okay, so then, tell me how you got these scratches on the back. What day was this taken?
that was taken that same night. I have also another one from the very next morning. And again, the police pointed out that I had been bleeding. I had some jewelry on. I had a necklace on, and I believe when my Sean grabbed me when he pushed me against the door, that he pulled my necklace off while doing that.
Well, did he pull your necklace off?
I'm not sure, Your Honor. There were a lot of hands coming at me at once.
So somebody pulled your necklace. Was your necklace pulled off?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You said you had another one?
And Your Honor.
Hold on, I'll get to you just one second, Mr. Corey. Let me finish talking to her.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to get it up. So this one is from the night. That's me sitting in my car right after the police pointed out that I was bleeding from my neck.
Okay. All right. All right, you can take it down. All right, let's see. What else do you want to say, Mr. Corey?
The very next day, her and her mother come to my business to threaten me. For what reason? I had nothing to do with the altercation at all. What would make this young lady bring her mother to my place of business to threaten me and made my customers and my business feel uneasy?
Your Honor, we did not threaten. Mr. Corey was not even there when we arrived. We arrived hoping that he would be there so that we could call the police because he was involved in the incident the night before. We didn't.
Wait a minute, but Miss Torea, the police came there and he was at his house. So, I mean, they were all there. All three. So then why would you go to where he works and call the police a second time?
Because we wanted to make another report of the incident.
Why do you want to make another report? I mean, you reported it where it happened.
Because I had already told my mom that I did not feel like the police were taking me serious that evening.
Okay. Anything else, Miss Stacy?
My phone, I think, is gonna die, and if I have to turn my car on to make it work, so I'm hoping that it doesn't die.
That's okay. You can start your car.
I didn't say. She said that she had sent me a text. Torea and her mom have been blocked from my phone for months because I called to check on my granddaughter one day, and the way she talked to me and disrespectful. I put up a lot with that. I do it because I just try to keep things cordial, between them, because they were, have a daughter together and in their relationship, but we've never had, we don't care for each other. Her mom has called me at my place of employment, threatening me. So they have been blocked from my phone for months. So if she did send a text, or I don't get anything.
All right. Anything else?
And I did not put my hands on her at all. I don't even have nails, first of all, but I stood in between them for the arguing and them going back and forth just so they weren't in each other's face. That was it. There was no pulling, scratching, pulling her hair or anything. And like I told her just to sit down and relax. Even when the police officer came, I said, she's welcome to stay here. She's been in this house. She stayed in this house. The baby stays in here, stays here 4 days out of the week. And he said, well, she's not leaving until she gets her daughter. And I said, that's fine. She's welcome to stay right here.
All right. All right. Mr. Marchand, anything else?
Yeah, I was just gonna add on to what my mother said. As far as Shreya saying that, we didn't give her any other option, she didn't want any other option. Her option was to drive home with the baby. Obviously, we would have let her, stay here and let someone come pick her up. She just was being confrontational. And that's when I started asking her to leave because, she's yelling at me. She's yelling at my parents. I have an 11-year-old upstairs hearing it all. And that's why I was asking her to leave. But if she would have just came and been calm and said, hey, I'm going to wait here. We're going to leave. Someone's going to come pick us up, or even ask my parents to take her. They would have done that, and that's all.
Okay, ma'am, what else? You get the last word.
Your Honor, this is something I've been dealing with Marshawn and his family for a while. Again, this is not the first time that I've had to call the police because Marshawn put his hands on me. The very first time it happened, I called his father as I was leaving the home with my child, and he immediately said, just don't call the police. Whatever you do, just don't call the police. I have remained neutral in a lot of situations where Marshawn has harassed me, disrespect me. Even after he got the paperwork for this, he called my phone nonstop to where I would have to turn my phone off. I feel like I've been being manipulated for the past year with this child. He has not tried to work with me as far as getting legitimized. Marshawn has actually been avoiding getting legitimized because he does not want to be on child support. I don't feel comfortable and safe dealing with him. I really don't. I've tried to remain a peaceful co-parent for the sake of our child and the child that, that I've heard, his other child, I've been a part of her life. But anytime Marshawn does not get what he wants, it ends up being this. I'm scared that it's going to escalate. My family is scared. He slashed my tires on my car. It's just becoming like too much for me, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that is not true. As far as
messages of him admitting that he slashed the tire, he's offering to pay for the tire because he's saying he's wrong. He also, I also had to call the police for that, Your Honor.
That's not true, Your Honor.
I've tried to work with these people. I really have. It's becoming too much.
And Your Honor, she's sitting here saying that her own mother put her out the house and we brought her in.
She stayed with us when her mom put her out. That's correct.
That is not the truth.
Hold on.
This is crazy.
Her parents manipulate her because they want to take her and control her life.
Okay,
we brought her in and brought her in the family.
She's saying,
let her talk.
Baby.
She's saying, hold on.
There you go. So it's got all of you muted. Okay. Now, I've listened to this. You still can't say who did what. And I'm not going to put this in place. The sad part about the whole thing is that both of y'all were probably drunk and or had definitely been drinking. So neither one of y'all needed to be doing anything with his kid. Grandma and grandpa are there. They're not drunk and or drinking. Or if they had been drinking, they probably had a glass of wine and they're keeping grandkids and they got kids that probably deserved a glass of wine, but they weren't to the point where they couldn't care for this child. And then, and one thing I know that if there would have been physical altercation in the ride share, they would have put y'all out and they would have called the police. They would have put you out of the ride share. Because I've had plenty of those cases. They're like, well, the Uber or the Lyft put us out. So they wouldn't have then continued to drive you back from, that's not going to happen. I'm not saying you didn't yell and scream, or if they didn't put you out, then you had a crappy rideshare driver. But that's their policy, and they're gonna put you out. They don't want that in the back. They're not going to drive down the road with some man and or woman flailing or fighting with the other. and then you can't say who did anything to you at the house. I mean, it takes a village, Mr. Michon. There's nothing to work out in a legitimation. You either file it, get her served, and go through the courts. Because if you, there's nothing for the two of you to talk about. You just file the papers and the judge signs the order. That's what happens. So, and that's probably what needs to happen here. Now, Mr. Michon, she probably won't let you see this child, which is, this is always about children end up in the middle. And it's sad that the children, and that's to both of y'all, had to hear yelling and screaming like that. I mean, and that you were holding the child and y'all were still yelling. I mean, that's even worse. I mean, y'all go outside and yell and scream, but, come on, these kids are just starting out in this very cruel world. Let them enjoy peace and quiet until they are able to watch the news and see everything that happens in this world today. Let them have that peace. So I'm going to deny these. But Mr. Michon, y'all broke up, Mr.
We are. We're not together. I haven't seen her since the incident. I haven't seen my daughter since the incident. So.
Okay. Well, the sooner you file your papers, the better, because
You're right.
this is about the child, not
Right.
you. But I'm just telling you right now, the only reason you need to text her is after you is something happens with the child. Ms. Torrea, you also would need to let him know if something happens to that precious little girl. Child gets sick, you got to take her to CHOA because, whatever. She get, earache or whatever, you should let him know. He's the father, And y'all are going to have to figure something out on when you do have parenting time with the child that y'all can drop off at a neutral place or something. And that's sad that these kids' lives are starting off like this, but that happens. But sounds like both of y'all were drinking and or drunk and you'd be having any kind of discussion with anyone anyway. And stop pulling the grandparents in it, because when both of y'all aren't there, it's these grandparents that are going to help raise these kids. It takes a village, and the village is your parents, ma'am, and his parents. That's the village that's going to raise these kids. So make nice with each other's parents at least, because y'all will need them one day. Babysitting, something, y'all need them one day. So if y'all all place your emails in the chat, I will send you a copy of the denial. Sir, you need to keep y'all. The ma'am, y'all need to keep it with you for at least a week or two. Make sure you keep a copy of it so it comes off of GCIC. I am stepping away from the bench. Best of luck to you. Y'all stay healthy and safe.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, everybody, turn your cameras on, stay on mute. Turn your cameras on and please stay on mute. Everybody, turn your camera on. You're in my courtroom, so your camera needs to be on. I will see you in my courtroom. I need to see you here. Camera's on. Keisha Corbett, do something where I can see your face. You can see your face, Ms. Corbett. There you go. Okay. When I call your name, just take yourself off mute. Hit that little button. I just put a Mentos in my mouth here so I can. Rope gets dry so much. Take yourself off mute and answer with a here so that I will actually know that you're here. All right. Camera's on. 2 more people are coming. They're just joining. All right. Keisha Corbett, Cyrus Todd. Ms. Corbett?
No, I don't have an announcement.
Ms. Corbett, did you hear me? Take yourself off mute and say here.
Here.
Okay. It looks like Mr. Todd has not been served. And this TPO is going to expire. If you reach back out to Safe Families, they can help you resubmit the paperwork. It's only good for 30 days.
Okay.
If you reach back out to your advocate, they can just help, I think they kind of keep that stuff. They can help you, it shouldn't be too complicated for you.
Okay. So just start over.
Yeah, just reach out to your advocate.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Jackie Stevenson. Todrick Freeman. Failure to appear. Ernestine Sherman. Morris.
I'm here.
Ms. Sherman, looks like yours is about.
Ernestine.
It looks like yours is expiring too because Morris Horton has not been served. I don't know if this was an intimate partner issue, but if it is, you could come by Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 9 to 1, I think, and we'll give you a referral down to Safe Families, and they can help you with your paperwork. But you'll have to.
Okay.
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 So you'll just need to refile, but stay healthy and safe. And like I said, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 9 to 1. If you come up, we give you a referral to go down and see Safe Families.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Stay healthy and safe. Have a good week.
All right.
Tanya Pace. Corey Smith. Failure to appear. Farah Torres.
Here.
Yermas Shibishi has not been served. Your case is reset until February the 27th at 9:30. Place your email in the chat now. Ms. Free is going to send you the reset notice and a sheriff's form. Fill out that sheriff's form completely. Maybe not. You put a 2 to 4 hour time frame, but it needs to be a good 2 to 4 hour time frame so the sheriff will know when to go out and attempt service. Once you get that filled out, send it back to Ms. Free before the end of the day.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Stay healthy and safe. Have a good weekend.
All right. You too. Thank you.
River Burns.
I'm here.
Thank you, sir. Admir Garaplija. I show no service. According to the Sheriff's Department, they're not at home. Your case is also reset until February the 27th at 11 a.m. If you place your email in the chat, we'll email you the reset notice and the sheriff's form. So fill that out. Put a 2 to 4 hour time frame. Make sure you put a good time. It could be in the middle of the night when these people can be served, okay? Because obviously when they went by, they weren't at home. But return that sheriff's form back to Ms. Free before 5 p.m. today. All right? Stay healthy and safe. And this is still in place, so we can still get served. But same thing, just fill that sheriff's form out for me, please. Jabria Jones. Nicole Samuels. Failure to appear. Alexius Wright.
Here.
Ma'am, and I've got Jasmine Morgan. They'll show no service on Ms. Morgan. Your case is reset until the February 27th at 12:30. If you place your email in the chat, and also make sure you check your spam, but she'll send you a reset notice and a sheriff's form. That sheriff's form needs to be filled out and sent back to Ms. Free before 5 p.m. today.
Yes, ma'am.
Like I said, everything will stay in place so she can still get served. You stay healthy and safe. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Kaya Smith, Stephen Watford. There to appear. I've got Kim Lawrence.
Here.
And Hubert Wigham has not been served. So this is reset until February the 27th at 12:30. You place your email in the chat, she'll send you a reset notice and that sheriff's form. Fill that sheriff's form out and get it back to Ms. Free before 5 p.m. today. And like I said, put down a 2 to 4 hour time frame that is the best time to try to serve them. It'll give you, it'll give a better shot of them getting served. Okay.
I mean, I have no idea. I mean, this is an ex-spouse. I don't know when he's home.
Here's the thing, I don't either. I mean, he's not even my ex-spouse. I mean, you gotta know he's got a job. So, I mean, I don't know. If you don't put a time, they're just gonna go by there, and that's what they did now. So could be 10 o'clock at night. I don't know. I mean, maybe first thing in the morning, maybe 3 to 5 a.m. I don't know. But if you put something down there, they'll know when he's at home. They'll go by there in the middle of the night, but I mean, I can't help you. You got to give them as much information as they can get. All right. Once you place your email in the chat, you can leave the meeting, but turn that form back over before 5 p.m. today.
And I'm sorry, one last thing. If I have additional questions, can I just call the family division again? I mean, this is my first time doing this. I'm not sure, what the procedure is. Do I have an order in place? You're saying I don't because he hasn't been served?
I didn't say you don't. There's an order still, but he hasn't been served. So he doesn't know about it yet.
Okay.
So
all right.
If he comes by your house, you should keep an extra copy of everything and call the police and then have the police serve him. Then have the police write a police report that you will need to pick up and e-file, get it back to the family division and show that he's been served. But
okay,
if you give it to them, all they're going to do is serve him. They're not going to arrest him because they have to serve him with this hearing. But
and I live in DeKalb County, and he came on the 4th, February the 4th, and I did call the police, and they asked me if I had a protective order in place, and at that time I had not received anything. I called the Fulton County Sheriff's Department Monday. They told me that they got a stack of, I guess, whatever you call it, on Friday.
They get stacks every day, not just on Friday. They get a stack every single day. Everybody that's filing ex parte orders today, by signing ex parte, Ms. Free's gonna take a stack over there. Sometimes it's 40 cases.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying he showed up as late as February the 4th.
Well, I hope you called the police.
I did. I called the DeKalb County Police, and they basically told me they couldn't do anything, that I had to work through you all in Fulton County.
Couldn't do anything like arrest him or make a police report?
Well, they said it was recorded because I did call 911, so they do have record of it, but that was beyond, that was about all they could do.
They not come to your house and make a police report?
I'm sorry?
Did they not come to your house and write out a police report and give you a case number?
They did not write out a police report. An officer came and spoke with me and my husband.
So, Ms. Lawrence, you should have demanded that they write a police report. Because now you have no proof other than you're just telling me the police came out there.
I called 911 so they would have a record because I asked that. And
you're going to get those records to show? No. A police report. Ma'am, I was a cop for 15 years.
Okay. Well, I don't know. This is new to me. That's why I'm asking the question.
Police should write reports every time you come out. Cat in the tree. They write it's a short one. Came out, lady said cat was in the tree, looked up, cat had gotten out of the tree.
Okay, now I know that because the police officer did not tell me that. The officer didn't tell me that. I didn't know that. So now I know.
Doing the best job they can. They're just as busy as ever, but you gotta, you have to be an advocate for yourself, just like when you go to the doctor. So you have to advocate for yourself, but same thing. Call the police.
I understand that now. I did not understand that. I understand that now. So I will, if it happens again, I will.
Stand by. So there is a TPO in place. He has not been served. You need to print out a copy of the entire packet.
Which I have.
You let me finish. The petition, the order, this court date notice, and the new court notice. You need to keep those, a copy of that with you, so that if you do run into somebody or he comes over there, hand that to the police officer, and then the police officer can serve them. They also have to have this court date has to be attached to that extra packet. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Place your email in the chat. Stay healthy and safe, and have a good weekend.
I think I did.
And I don't think we have anything else, Miss Sandifer.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream, and we'll get back on at 2 o'clock, which I think is going to be